My sister can vouch for me, man. She can vouch for me because we have this whole thing recorded. Yeah. Hey, what's up, creators? It's your girl KIRB3YZ, and welcome back to another video. I know it's been a long time since I've done a story time, so we're gonna do it old school. We're gonna pick out of this hat. I have all these stories that are written on different pieces of paper, and why am I always spitting? I feel like a sprinkler. Okay, what story are we doing today? Spirit guides. I'm nervous. Okay, let's pick this one. What is it? Oh God! It's time. It's time. This one is called My Date with Mr. Giraffe, or we can call this Out of Reach. Okay, this story, it takes place, I want to say either, I want to say January 2021, because this all started in November-ish, December or whatever, like December 2020 leading into January 2021. There we go. Just to get that cleared up. Well, I was on TikTok. This is like my first time being on TikTok ever. I was still getting the hang of it because I started previously. I started like that December or whatever. So then I got TikTok and then I was just scrolling. You know how you just scroll, find everybody on live. So I stumbled upon this guy. We need to give him a name. Let's pick a name, shall we? Let's go with Trevor. Let's go with Trevor, okay? I don't know, I like the way it sounds. I was scrolling on TikTok and I landed on Trevor's page, and I noticed that Trevor was just really extremely tall. We're talking like maybe, my guess, 6'3" or maybe 6'4". I don't know, I forgot. But he was always on live with, I think it was his homeboy, because it was he was living with his roommate and all that. And so he would do a lot of TikTok dance challenges and all that, and everybody would just chill. It was like a real chill vibe, you know? Me not knowing shit about shit. And I was like, let me just go onto his live and let's see what this is about, and how do you go live with somebody. And I didn't have enough followers at the time. I only had it was way less than 1,000, because I think the rule was you have to have 1,000 followers just to go live, or 10,000. It was something like that. It was something like that. No, there you go. 1,000 to go live and then 10,000 to get paid or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He would go live with his roommate a lot of the time. The thing that connected us both was that I guess he was into like nostalgia stuff, and y'all know me, I like nostalgia stuff as well. So he saw that I was coming back every single time, and every time he went live I was like, hey, what's up, blah blah blah, all that. The people who are into zodiac signs, both him and his roommate, Tauruses. That should let you know where this is going. Weeks went by, and I think this was about 4 or 5 weeks. It started off as like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna do a meet and greet. That's what him and his homeboy were talking about. I totally forgot his homeboy's name, so we need a name for him too. Let's do DJ, I guess. I don't know. So Trevor and DJ, they went on live one time and they were like, yeah, we should do a meet and greet and blah blah blah. Like I said, they were doing this every single day, it seems like, because they were trying to rack up followers, they were trying to rack up engagement and all that. So yeah, turns out when they said where they were from, I was like, oh my God, that's like near me, like probably an hour or some change away from me, and I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, oh. And then, you know what was really weird? They said they always chilled out at the mall that I always went to when I travel out, and I was like, oh my god, I know exactly where that is. He was like, yeah, we should do a meet and greet with everybody who's in that area, and I was like, oh yeah. But it was weird because I think everybody else was not near. It seemed like it was just me. I was like, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, you bout it, I'm bout it. You know, I'm game. I was like, shit, I can just drive there. And so they were like, you dead ass, you dead ass. I was like, yeah. I was like, let me go there. We exchanged numbers after we got off live and everything. Now note, we still haven't seen each other like face to face, FaceTime or whatever. Never. I'm like, because I couldn't go co-host with him on his own live. So yeah, he's just like, okay, but I mean, I match what I look like, so it's not like he was getting hoodwinked or some shit. He liked a lot of my stuff on my own TikTok. So this, like I said, this has been going on before this even happened. This whole meet and greet idea even happened. We were texting each other back and forth, like where to meet up at. And so he wanted to meet up at the mall, but at first he was like, how about we go get something to eat? And I was like, okay, cool. I met him at the mall. So I know exactly what I was wearing too, which is really weird. I think I wore the exact same outfit. It was my Chicago Bulls jacket or whatever. I'll show y'all a picture or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I was wearing. This is in the afternoon, and he originally told me him and his homeboy, so Trevor and DJ, were gonna meet me there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm driving like an hour and a half out. I go to the mall. I could not find this man anywhere. Y'all would think, how could you not find a giraffe in the middle of the zoo? So finally we're calling each other. I'm like, hey, where you at? And he was like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm over by the Cheesecake Factory. I just got here. He's like, well, I'm over by Nordstrom. Damn, like that's a whole other side of the mall. So I'm like, let me go through the food court. Let me, blah, blah, blah. I'm nervous. My heart is like, girl, it was about 2 hours. What? Because here was red flag number one. Red flag number one was he was about, 2 hours late. He said that he needed to go drop off his sister or whatever kind of excuse or whatever. I was like, this is kind of weird. No woman should be waiting for no man. I was just like, I'm just about to go home, fuck it. Like, I really was. So I literally got my keys. I was like, you know what? Let me just wait for him in the food court. Waited, he didn't come out, so I was like walking. So he was like, he called me like an hour later or some shit. Cause we were doing back and forth calls, and he was like, are you still at the mall? I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, just wait there, just wait there. After I waited already like 2 hours. 2 hours, my G, 2 hours. Like, I forgive myself now, but Lord jeez, never again. And then he was like, okay, I'm gonna go on the side of Nordstrom, just wait for me by that exit, blah, 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 whatever. So once again, we still couldn't find each other. This took about another 15 minutes. He said he was in the store, which he was, because I heard the background and all that from when he was calling and all that. So finally I see him. He sees me, tall than a motherfucker. We gave each other like you know, the nervous side church hug and da-da-da. We finally went all the way out of the mall into the parking lot, and we were wondering where we were gonna eat, which ended up being Texas Roadhouse. We went down, he went in his car, I went in my car, because I'm not leaving my car at the mall. It got me fucked up. We went all the way to Texas Roadhouse. He said that his homeboy was gonna meet us there a little later because his homeboy was working that day. And I was like, okay. He gets a special table because I guess, I said special table. When we got there, he already knew the staff because I guess he used to work there, or he still worked there. One of the two, I forgot. There's so many red flags. So we're waiting at the table, and then this lady shows up, and it's someone that he worked with, and he was like, yeah, this is Kirby, the girl that I was telling you about. So she's like, oh, okay, cool, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, you told the staff? I was like, what the staff gotta do with this? So I decided to get a drink, and he got a drink, and then we were talking. We stayed there for about 4 hours. Yeah, like 4 hours. And I'm just wondering, when is his homeboy showing up also? Because when we got there, like, I guess his homeboy was about to be off work. That's why I was like, okay, just give it about like 30 minutes or something for him to get ready. You know what I mean? Friend still never showed up. Me and him were just laughing, kikiing, and all this other shit. Like, it was actually a vibe. It was a vibe, bro. It was a vibe. Like, I told him, I was like, isn't your friend supposed to be coming here? Like, where's he at? I thought it was supposed to be all three of us, you know? Or if he was bringing it, I didn't know. Everything was so random. So he was like, yeah, let me call him. And so he's calling him and he's like, hey bro, where you at? He was like, man, I'm still at home. This is like on the 3rd hour. That's when I knew something was up. Like, I didn't know what was up. After he got off the phone, he was like, yeah, he said like, I don't think that's gonna make it, blah blah blah, I don't think he's gonna make it. I'm like, okay. You would think right after that we would just leave. No, we stayed there. I think at that time it was like the halfway mark, like 2-3 hour mark, and then we stayed for an additional hour or so. And he asked me, what do I have going on after this? And I was like, probably go back home or whatever. And he was like, well, you can come chill at our apartment. And I was like, oh, okay, well shit. Because we were having that much fun, man. He paid for my food, but I paid for my drinks. If someone, not just a guy or girl, if someone offers to pay prior to getting there, okay, cool. But if not, always bring your own money. I always was told and was taught, bring your own money in case of any situation. Hence the reason why I thought his friend was gonna come, because it was a hangout initially. You know, he wanted to go $50-$15. Now, I would have made it a big deal if it was a date initially, but it's not. And I was like, yeah, I'll pay for my drinks, and he paid for his food and his drinks or whatever. I was like, all right. So we go into his truck, and I guess he needed to go get some gas, if y'all know what I'm talking about. We're going different places, blah blah blah. My sister's checking on me just to make sure I'm not with a psycho. Thank you, sis. And after he got his wraps and the gas, we go to his apartment, and I go in there. I'm telling you right now, y'all know that good feeling and all that I was telling y'all about that happened at the restaurant. I know I'm not the only woman who went through this. It was like the bait and switch kind of shit. Like, I don't know what happened. I think I know what happened, but like I said, let me finish the story. Good vibes at the restaurant. By the time we got to his apartment, I go in, I think he had 1 or 2 dogs. I think it was 1. And I was petting the dog and all that, and I saw a stripper pole. Girl, I should have just left. I should have just left. And I finally met his homeboy, but his homeboy was not welcoming to me at all. They didn't have a lot of furniture. It looked like, you know, a frat boy's house and all that. And I didn't want to go into somebody's room. Like, I'm very home trained. And I was like, okay, maybe I should stay in the living room. They're like, oh no, you can go in the room and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. And so they had a chair in there, so I just sat on the chair. And I was panicking because by this time it was already like 10 something at night. I'm like, shit. Because I thought it was just gonna be a quick meetup and then I go home. And I could have just did that, right? I could have just did that, but that's what happens when you're having way too much fun. And then I told myself, I was like, oh yeah, I can drive at night, knowing damn well I was literally willing to sleep in my car because I didn't want to go into a guy's house, sleep over, don't know him, we just met, and his homeboy. Tell me if that doesn't sound like some CSI 48-hour shit that's waiting to go down. I'm not doing it. And I told him too. I told him, I was like, after the smoke session, I was literally just gonna go. He was like, oh no, you don't have to go. And I was like, but I brought like a bag and all that. I was gonna sleep in my car. He was like, you're gonna sleep in your car? He gave me this look like you were gonna sleep in your car. I was like, I don't know you. Like, I don't know you. Yeah, he thought it was silly also, so he was just like, yeah. His homeboy, on the other hand, pissed. I don't know what I did to ruffle his feathers. The dog liked me. So we were chilling and we were looking at, yeah, I think we were looking at the 85 South show. And we were laughing and all that. And we were listening to music and they were doing 90s trivia and all that. Like, it was just me and him, but his homeboy didn't want to come in. And I was like, no, you can come in, you can come chill. We're not doing anything. We weren't even cuddled up. We weren't flirting or anything. And every few minutes, his homeboy DJ would just come in and check in on us and all that. I'm still sitting in the chair, mind you. I'm still sitting in the chair. He's sitting on his bed. Like, if this doesn't scream hangout, I don't know what else does. But his friend was just like, oh, y'all are cozy in here. Like, very, like, ooh, what's going on in here? Nothing. He lights candles. I kid you not, I can't make this shit up. He lit candles and all that. I'm like, what the fuck is about to go down? You see a stripper pole? I'm like, this ain't that kind of party, homie. This ain't that kind of party. We were just sitting there, we were having fun, and he would just come in every so often, and we're like, do you want to smoke? Blah, blah, blah. What do you want to do? He was like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Trevor, he started acting weird because his homeboy was acting weird, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Because he started acting, you know, kind of mean, kind of condescending. It's that switch up when they're around their homeboys. I'm telling you, girls, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, you are one way, not judgmental at all, very open, very, like, it was very good conversation. As soon as we got to his apartment, the bait and switch happened, because I'm like, what is going on? Because it was like, if it was just me and him, he'll act one way. When it was around his homeboy, totally different vibe. And as the night went on, I changed into not even PJs, because I was in my Chicago Bulls jacket and all that, so I took that off and took my shoes off, and I just put on leggings and a long sleeve shirt because it was cold. I didn't even bring my contact case, you know, and that's why I was like, if I had to sleep in my car, I'll sleep in my car. That's what I mean. If it's one of those nights, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. If it was an overnight stay and we were prepared, then we would have did an everything shower. We would have done the works. No, this was completely a hangout that I was willing to sleep in my car if it got too late. Bless you. It started getting later and later, and so he was like, you don't have to sit on the chair, you know. Because like for these hours, I was like scrunched up like crisscross applesauce on his chair. I did not want to go on his bed at all. And so he was like, you can get comfortable. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so he was like, yeah, you can sit on the bed. So I was like, oh, okay. So I sat on the edge. Yeah, his homeboy just stopped coming in at some point. And then he would, like, Trevor would just go out, talk to his homeboy, make sure he was good. I was like, he could come in, and I told him that. I was like, why is he acting weird, bro? Like, he went in, he came back in, we were sitting on his bed, we were just chilling, asking each other's interests. Now, let's pause for a second, right? What does it sound like to you? If you're not into somebody, you do not like candles, you do not, you know? First of all, you don't even invite them over. Let's start there, because you just met me, but that level of trust must have been high that day. We would laugh and do trivia and blah 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 until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Nothing went down, no kissing, no nothing. And I fell asleep and he fell asleep, but he had like a king size bed or whatever. He slept on the other side, like way off to the other side, and I slept on one side, and I'm still in my leggings and my long sleeve shirt. And so I'm like this, I didn't want nobody to touch me. I'm like, why did I put myself in this situation? I wanted to go home so bad, but I was with the birds. I was like, crap, man. So I was like, man. Morning finally hits and I see that the sun's coming up. He was just like really weirded out by me for some reason. And I'm like, this is what I mean, like it was just weird vibes. Cause I'm like, oh hey, good morning, blah blah blah. He was like, good morning. Trevor ended up telling me what his friend said and all that. He was like, yeah, I don't know what you have. I was like, well, I can go and all that. You know, it was just really weird vibes. After, I was just like, let me just go, because clearly it's giving your friend doesn't want me to be here for whatever reason. I even tried talking to him at one point, like the night before, and this is just like conversation, I'm like, oh, hey, man, what's up, blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't want to do none of that. I was like, what is up with you, bro? Like, I didn't do shit to you, but you make it seem like I did the most to you when I didn't do nothing. Fast forward to me getting my stuff, and he was gonna walk me to my car. So he walks me all the way to my car. He gives me a hug and he tells me to get home safe. Once again, the mixed signal. The next day, he got back on live with his homeboy and all that, and I went to the chat and I was like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. It was good seeing you yesterday and blah, blah, blah. He got pissed, Trevor this time. Trevor got pissed. Did I miss something? Did I miss something? Because everybody in the chat knew that we were going to hang out with each other, but we didn't go live or anything together the whole time. Yeah, he was acting weird, so I got off. If you are watching, let's just say I got receipts. So yeah, this is where my ancestors, this is why I tell people, don't cross me. Don't cross me, because they have no mercy. They have no mercy. Ooh, ooh, honey. What happened, I didn't go to his lives and all that for maybe like a day or two or something like that. Little did I know, unbeknownst to me, he was on live talking shit about me. Something told me, because I was talking to my sister. My sister can vouch for me, man. She can vouch for me, because we have this whole thing recorded. Yeah, yeah. Something told me go on TikTok. I was like, why? Because me and my sister were having just a random conversation in her room, and next thing you know, I'm going on TikTok, I'm scrolling. You know how you can just see somebody live before you actually tap and go into the actual live. So I saw him and his homeboy, and I kid you not, I was the topic of conversation. I didn't go into the live. I was just watching this go down, because something told my ancestors told me, they're like, no, don't go in, just watch. I'm like, okay, cool. So I watch this whole thing go down. He was telling the whole story that I'm telling y'all, but he tweaked it by, bruh, like, talk about exaggeration.
She brought her ass, and she brought her out. She trying to pick my brain. She trying to do this. We're up till 5:30 in the morning watching dumbass YouTube videos. Some with. But it was tragic, y'all. It was tragic. And I hated that it had to be her, but oh yeah, she blocked, cut off. She cool, but she lame as fuck. Sorry, straight lame. So now you just wasting my time. I spent the whole 18 hours with that person, y'all.
Wow.
18 hours of my life wasted.
What?
But I'm not finna hang with you if your intent and your plot is to get in and see where Vic stay at. Let me get in.
Wow.
And what is it? Make him my husband, or make him my next thing.
Wow.
That's all. That's it. That's it. I ain't gonna talk about it too much. I'm just tired. The females need to know they play.
Wow.
Like, I'm not the one. I'm sorry. What make you think you good? But just a lot of stuff. And I was like, man, you know what? Fuck that, bro. I ain't used to none of these females. Came all the way to my city. Not for herself. All for a plot.
What plot?
You was gonna be out. No, let me stop talking so much.
Didn't I warn you about it? Yup. Proof. It's something told me stay on here. Uh-huh. Okay. This is exactly what a fuck boy is. He got mad because she didn't put it out. And how am I blocked if I can see this? Exactly. He's still one of my followers. She blocked though. She blocked though. She blocked though.
No problem.
This is how you know someone's salty. It's okay.
I would go as far as I can to not, without hurting your, to not hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it takes, I'm gonna make sure I don't hurt your feelings.
Yeah, you just talk shit after.
I feel guilty if I...
But you don't feel... He's not even saying his part in this. Nope. At all. Nope. At all. Nope. He just felt like he's violated for not getting any. He ain't your friend. Bro, wake up. He ain't your friend. If y'all don't share, he don't care.
There's no way I should have let her continue to annoy me and be...
Annoy you?
You know what I'm saying? Like, why did I continue to let her do that? That's something I I've been trying to figure out. And I had kind of just made my mind like, you just too nice, Vic. You just don't want to be mean. But when I turn off, or when like my switch flips, I'm mean as hell. You can't get me to turn off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why didn't I turn that off and turn on that girl and kick her out or let her know?
Yeah.
You know, be everybody's nice friend. Nah, yeah. Them all the way.
He's mad because he gave you respect. That's funny. Awesome. Awesome.
I think so. Goddamn. Don't say nothing.
Wow.
Cause I really saved her. I was really sitting here. I really saved her because I really wanted to go off and tell a whole story. Oh, YouTube story about that bitch. Come tell me and Corey talked for 3 hours talking about the shit. 3 hours? She pissed him off. He wasn't even there.
3 hours. Wow.
How? Just say you liked me. And you don't have to go no further than that. Whatever him and his friend talked about was like outrageous because his friend chimed in, but he didn't want to say anything to me at the time in the apartment. Bitch move. Because he didn't have to do all that, really. He didn't have to do any of that. And his friend, for sure, didn't have no say so. Yeah, he totally fumbled with me. He fumbled because if you, and I know that there's some smart guys out there. If you are done with any woman, if she is not for you, that should have just been it, right? And I don't know what exactly he was mad at. Was it the fact that we didn't sleep together? Was it the fact that I didn't make a move on him? I think that's really what it is. I think it's because he made it seem like it was a hangout, which it was originally supposed to be, so I followed through. He was the one lighting candles. He was the one saying, yeah, come over to my apartment, laying on his bed, and I'm like on the chair. I know my ancestors effed him and his friend up, and it was so bad. If a woman really isn't shit to y'all, why are y'all talking about her for days and days and days and days and days?
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
It was seriously that little kid at school that likes a girl and they want to just be like, no, I don't like your shoes, no, I'm gonna pick on you, no, I'm gonna, it was literally that vibe. I was like, oh my God, never again. If you are a guy that says, oh, I'm not into her, I swear to God, I'm not into her, but blah, 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 you go tell your mom, you go tell your fans, you go tell your best friend, you go tell your homeboys, you go tell... The truth shall set you free, my brother. Like, it's okay. It is okay. It's okay. If y'all like that story, go ahead and give me a thumbs up on the video. And let me know if y'all want me to do more story times like this or more story times in animation form or a little bit of both. And if you see a giraffe, just make sure you leave it at the zoo. Don't take it to Texas Roadhouse like I did. Like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Bye, creators. Bye.